summer is here, and the state's gas tax is set to rise at the beginning of July. With no gas tax relief in sight, state lawmakers have a new initiative: investigate alleged gas price gouging. NTD Cynthia Kai has the details on the new focus.
Assembly Democrats announced on Monday the creation of a new select committee to investigate whether the oil and gas industry is engaging in price gouging.
California leaders must protect consumers from further harm. That is why earlier this month I signed a letter urging a pause in the gas tax increase for 1 year. But as legislators, we owe it to our constituents to answer the question on everybody's mind: why do gas prices continue to rise?
The new committee can order oil company executives to hearings and demand they show records of their profits.
Gas pricing is a complicated issue with a multitude of factors contributing to the price we pay at the pump.
In response, Republican Assembly Leader James Gallagher posted his own investigative report on Twitter. The graph he posted shows how taxes and fees can add an average of $1.30 to the price of gas. According to Gallagher's post, California taxes include a 51 cents per gallon state excise tax, which will increase to 53.9 cents on July 1st, an 18 cents per gallon federal excise tax, and an estimated 12 cents per gallon sales tax. And fees include a 22 cents per gallon fee for low-carbon gas programs, a 25 cents per gallon fee for greenhouse gas programs, and a 2 cents per gallon fee for underground tank storage. For months, Republicans have pushed for suspension of the gas taxes. Assemblyman Gallagher wrote on Twitter, if Capitol Democrats were really doing everything in their power to lower gas prices, they would support our call to suspend the gas tax and halt the scheduled July 1st increase. Californians don't need another dead-end study. They need relief now. Similarly, Assemblyman Kevin Kiley referenced the federal excise tax, writing that even Joe Biden wants to suspend the gas tax. Meanwhile, lawmakers invited a nonprofit consumer advocacy organization that emphasized the need for environmental protection.
California has made it clear that needs to and wishes to be at the forefront of environmental protection. And so we are unwilling to trade in our cleaner blend of gas that just for price at the pump.
But Harrell did suggest cutting the mystery gas surcharge of 30 cents. This tax is a holdover from the 2015 Torrance refinery fire. These proposals come as California saw a 5-cent decrease in the average price of gas over the Father's Day weekend. The national average also dipped below $5 per gallon compared to last week.
California is planning to begin administering COVID-19 jabs to kids 5 and under, some as young as 6 months old. The governor pre-ordered 400,000 doses this weekend, but not all doctors and scientists are on board.
Over the weekend, Governor Gavin Newsom pre-ordered nearly 400,000 doses of both the Pfizer and Moderna COVID-19 vaccines. It will be administered at 8,500 vaccine sites in the state. This comes after a group of scientists submitted a review to Newsom and unanimously concluded that vaccines are safe and effective for children as young as 6 months old. The review, which was also sent to governors in Oregon, Washington, and Nevada, prompted Newsom to pre-order the vaccines. In a statement, Newsom said, "Vaccines are safe, effective, and widely accessible. We're strongly encouraging parents to protect their kids from COVID-19 with these vaccines."
This means that the whole family essentially can be vaccinated. That means protection against the short-term and long-term consequences of COVID.
According to CDC provisional data, over the last 2 years, more than 1 million COVID-19 deaths were reported in the United States. Out of all those deaths, children under the age of 17 made up for just over 0.001% of deaths. The U.S. Drug and Food Administration authorized the vaccines for the young children on June 17th and were recommended by the CDC on June 18th. After the authorization, a doctor in the UK explains why they should not have been approved.
The trial recruited 4,526 children aged from 6 months to 4 years old. 3,000 of these children did not make it to the end of the trial. That is a huge number 2/3 of them. Why was there this drop-off? That needs to be answered. And without an answer to that, on that basis alone, this trial should be deemed null and void.
A recent study published in the New England Journal of Medicine revealed that vaccination increases risk of COVID-19 infection. The study found infection without vaccination gives immunity. After analyzing the Omicron wave in Qatar, scientists found that having 2 doses of a COVID-19 vaccine has been linked with negative protection, while a previous infection without vaccination offers around 50% immunity.
According to California wildlife officials, 2 fish hatcheries in California are battling a bacterial outbreak. They said nearly 350,000 fish must now be euthanized. NTD's David Lamb reports.
The California Department of Fish and Wildlife say that nearly 350,000 infected trout must be humanely euthanized. The Wildlife Department announced on Monday that 2 trout hatcheries in the Eastern Sierra are continuing to fight an outbreak of Lactococcus pitari, which is a naturally occurring bacteria that sickens fish. Symptoms can include bulging eyes and lethargic swimming. Could you tell me what will happen to the fish that will be euthanized?
So the bacteria can cause a blood-borne disease with symptoms including anorexia, bulging eyes with hemorrhaging around the edges, lethargic or erratic swimming, darkening of skin, swollen abdomens, but ultimately it is increased mortality. That is the main concern.
The current outbreak was first detected in April, and the rainbow trout are showing signs of disease. The affected facilities, Black Rock and Fish Springs hatcheries, usually provide fish for stocking waterways. Scientists believe that birds may have brought the bacteria to the hatcheries. Ken, could you tell me what will happen to the fish that will be euthanized?
Sure. So unfortunately, due to the bacterial infection, these fish are not fit for human consumption, food banks, fertilizer. So they will be disposed of under Cal EPA guidance and disposed of in a secure landfill facility.
To replace the fish for fishermen, the department is working with an external vendor to provide catchable rainbow trout as early as July. Other hatcheries across the state are helping by providing and stocking fish in priority waters. The department plans to vaccinate the remaining fish at the facilities to combat the outbreak.
The primary preventative measure will be through a vaccination program. After the previous infection, fish at Mojave River received both an immersion and injection vaccine, and those fish have remained vaccine or bacteria-free.
The agency also said it is rare and unlikely to transmit the bacteria to people, but they caution fishermen to cook fish to at least 145 degrees. David Lamb, NTD News, California.
In preparation for this year's Independence Day, the LA City Attorney is warning its residents about the use of illegal fireworks. Officials say that there will be severe consequences for those who participate.
Los Angeles City Attorney Mike Feuer is encouraging residents to leave the fireworks display to the professionals. He stressed this over California's ongoing drought and the risk of both serious injury and uncontrolled fires from using illegal fireworks. In 2020, an illegal fireworks display caused a North Ridge apartment fire, causing multiple injuries and displacing many residents. Officials state that they are working on prevention tactics that include removing firework advertisements from online platforms. Meta, Craigslist, and OfferUp are all cooperating with city officials to identify and remove those ads from their platforms. The city is also working to spread awareness to residents about the dangers of illegal fireworks. They will be holding its second annual buyback program on July 2nd. Residents will be able to anonymously surrender their fireworks without consequences. City officials have warned that there will be severe penalties and prosecution for those engaged in the advertisement, sale, and usage of illegal fireworks. Last year, over 9,000 firework injuries were reported. Many pets go missing on July 4th, more than any other day of the year.
Now, an iconic species of tree in Southern California is not going on the threatened species list, at least for the time being. The lack of change comes after a split vote on the status to give the desert flora.
Last week, the California Fish and Game Commission voted in a split 2-2 vote about whether or not to list the Joshua tree under the state's Endangered Species Act. The tie vote result means that the commission will hear the issue again in October. The commission requested additional feedback from tribes. They also asked the Department of Fish and Wildlife to create a conservation plan for the trees. Conservationists have cited extreme drought and high temperatures as an existential threat to the desert natives. Many of the trees occupy the Joshua Tree National Park, east of San Bernardino and north of Palm Springs.
Elon Musk's SpaceX was busy over the weekend. One of the 3 launches took place in California. Let's take a look.
3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
SpaceX carried out a launch from California's Vandenberg Space Force Base over the weekend. The Falcon 9 rocket was carrying a German military payload. SpaceX delivered a Sarah 1 military radar satellite into orbit on Saturday. It was one of the 3 launches that Elon Musk's rocket company conducted over the weekend. The other 2 took place in Florida. The large first state booster rocket successfully landed back at the Space Force Base. It was the 3rd launch and landing of the booster.